Come with me. Come with me to discover the secrets of how thoughts become things, and we will manifest like never before. Come with me, and we'll discover a secret so powerful that will take you far beyond your dreams. Come with me on an unforgettable journey. Come with me. It's already yours. Get ready for this adventure, and I'm thankful for today that you found us, so get ready. The time is now. I'm Zelda Kelly. Welcome to Secrets, Laws of Attraction. Hello, and welcome back to this episode of Secrets, Laws of Attraction. I'm Zelda Kelly, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my own personal techniques that I use to affirm, attract, and to manifest. And believe me, I can attest, and those who are very close to me, family and friends, can attest that over the years, this has been a completely and utterly wonderful journey that I have taken, because the laws of attraction just really kind of came natural to me. My grandmother practiced it, and it was always amazing to watch her, because my grandmother did not have formal employment. Although she did things for other people, she would go, now we're talking back a few years ago, some decades, she would go give someone a roll set, hair set, in a salon setting. She would help other people. She would help people decorate. She would help people, basically now we call an image consultant, but she would go through their closet and pick out what was good and what was not good for them. She would also read cards. She was very good at that, as you know, and listening to my other messages to you. My grandmother could can and she could sew, and when I say can, I mean freezing, canning, putting up food for the winter and for the summer. So you see, many people called on her. And it was amazing that people would call her and say, you were on my mind today, so I sent you XYZ money. My grandmother weekly would have checks coming to her, or people would actually bring her things, and she would manifest things. She would write a list, and this is before this really became popular. She would write a list of things that she wanted, and then ultimately, they would come to her. She would attract it. So it kind of came natural with me, because I spent a lot of time with my grandmother and card reading and just life in general. And with my grandparents, my sister did too. So this was something that came natural to me. And over the years, I would manifest what I was desiring. Now I'm going to tell you, there were some years that I manifested the not so good, and that happens too. And I did not consciously do that on purpose, but it happened because one thing led to another, and then I became negative, and one thing led to another, and I made some very horrendous and horrible choices. I'll tell my life story one day. But for now, I'm just going to tell you that I was at one of the lowest points in my life. And I found a copy of the movie The Secret and played it that night when my house was asleep and my house was virtually empty. And I played it over and over and over again. Even while I slept, I put it on repeat. And I realized that what I had been doing was the opposite of what I knew. That the bad in my life I had attracted. And I consciously made a decision at that moment to turn it around. And I did turn it around. Not before things got worse, because I had to deal with what it was that I had attracted months before. You see, that was a horrible time in my life, and I dug myself out. There were people that are around me that really helped me, but I dug myself out. And if you're listening to this right now, today, this is not an accident. I think you're wondering how you're going to dig yourself out too. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to help you with that. So fast forward to now. I look back and I think even the bad times, those were the worst, best times of my life. And the reason I say that is because I learned. And I learned not to go down that path again. Now again, I didn't do that purposely. I made wrong decisions. I picked wrong people in my life. And you may have that now. So I'm going to say this right now. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Make a list. And if you're not writing things down, you're missing out, because that is a big key of attracting. Well, Zelda, I don't write anything down. I use my phone. No, you can't do that. You have to physically write it down, because there is this law of expectancy that when you write it down, that starts planting in your laws of intention into your subconscious. And now you're dealing with your reticular activating system. Now, the one thing we have talked about in the past a few times in these series, that the reticular activating system, that is that little space there at the bottom of the skull, top of the spine, and that's like your computer center for your brain. Now, this is going to sound kind of weird, okay? But your brain and your mind are two different things. You see, your mind is what contains all of your thoughts. Your brain is that mass that has all your brain cells that make your thought patterns through frequencies. I know it's getting a little deep. So the only thing you have to know is you are in control over your thought process. That's right. You don't let your thoughts control you. And I will tell you, for those of us who have been in that trap, and yes, it is a trap from years ago, or even now, that are led by our thought process, I want you to know that sometimes, most all times, your thoughts are not the facts when you're trying to discern through a particular situation. If something negative comes to you, and this is an example, all right, let's just say, okay, well, something has happened and it's just caused havoc in my life. Oh my gosh, what if this happens? Or what if that happens? Oh my gosh, if that happens and this happens, then that will happen. And then I will have to do this and I will have to do that. And oh my gosh, I might lose my house. I might lose my car. And that's what I'm talking about. You allow your thought patterns to run away and you believe them as facts. You have to stop that and you have to change that. And I mean, this is serious. You can't play around. For those of you who have listened to me and have heard me teach over the many years, I want you to know that if you're listening to this now, it's probably a refresher course. If not, then you're going to be telling me, well, you know what, Zelda, I do these things and they just don't work. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that they don't work is you're either not applying yourself, Or you're not dedicated enough. I know that seems hard on you, but it's very true. Or you're depending upon someone else to do the work for you. You have to get in there and you have to dig deep, because the only reason and the only way things and circumstances and people will change around you is if you change yourself. Because if you change yourself by thought patterns, actions, deeds, expectations, then the circumstances, situation, and people around you will have no choice but to change. Now, I'm not saying that you can change a person or their actions. They have to change themselves. But by you changing, they will react to your changing. You get it? They will see that you have changed, and their reactions will reflect your change. If someone isn't treating you well and you've accepted it and taken it in and oh, well, that's just the way she is. That's just the way he is. He cusses me out. She cusses me out on a daily basis. I just sit back and take it. Well, you're giving that person permission to verbally abuse you. That's an example. If you leave the room while this is happening, then guess what? It doesn't happen anymore. And that person will realize that now you're strong and you're not going to take it. That's just an example, but it's a harsh example so you can understand. You have to make that conscious, strong decision to change the circumstance, the situation, and the people. They will reflect and it will follow. So that's number one. I had to change my thought patterns. I had to get away from, oh my gosh, if that happens and this is happening, because that led me down a very dark, horrible path. Now, I'm okay, everybody's okay, everything happened and everything worked out all right. And like I said, I wouldn't change the past for anything because it helped me to learn and formed the future. Now, a big thing that you have to realize is that when you're setting your intentions with your reticular activating system, it is 100% switched on 24/7, 365. And I will tell you, that is a very, very important piece of this, because now your thoughts and your reticular activating system, your subconscious, is triggered by visual aids. What is a visual aid? Visual aid? It is it is pictures. It is writing it down. It is drawings. It is places, smells, thoughts associated with being at a particular place. Haven't you ever been at a certain place and you all of a sudden see something and it just really jerks your memory and you think of that all of a sudden? You haven't thought about that for years and it brings it to the forefront in your frontal lobe of your brain, and that's where your mind and your thoughts come from on a conscious level. This is all physics. And I'm going to say it again. Albert Einstein says if you are on the frequency of what it is that you want, you will have it. It is not philosophy, it's physics. You're actually dealing with the laws of physics and quantum physics, by the way. And I know it gets a little deep, but all you have to know is that it's inside you. As Bob Proctor says, you were born rich. Why? Because all of these things that you need are already there, are already around you. Opportunity. Now, I know you're going to think, oh gosh, you don't know my situation. I don't have any opportunity. Well, then you need to sit down and you need to think about this. And now this leads me to the next part. Okay, so now the visual aids that I use are vision boards. Now, I'm going to make a sister video to this, and we're going to talk about vision boards. Many of you have talked to me about a vision board. Some of you have even sent me pictures of your vision board, and I love that. Because you know what happens? I can also help you in believing what you're believing for you to get. And I put myself on the same frequency as you to believe that. And others will do that too. I'm not special in that. We all have that. We all have that. And that is part, by the way, the law of intention. I intend to help you. Others intend to help you, and you intend to help others. See, this all intertwines. So now we have the thought processes, making sure you're on the right path, making right decisions, and not allowing your thoughts to run away with you. And you do not follow your negative thoughts. Why? Because where the mind goes, the body follows. So if you're thinking in a very negative, I'm never going to get out of this financial mess. I look at my bank account every day and I see what a financial mess that is, and I'm not going to have any money. Well, you're right. You're not. Because you're speaking that manifestation into an existence. Remember what Henry Ford said. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So that brings me to the next phase that I use, and that is the law of expectancy. I expect things to happen. The law of expectancy means that whatever you expect will come to pass in your life. If you expect good things to happen, they'll happen. If you expect bad things to happen, they'll happen. If you expect a certain person to treat you badly, they will. If you expect a certain person to treat you very well, they will. And by the way, if you expect a certain person to treat you badly, and they do, the next phase for you is to use the law of let's get out of here. That's not really a law, but you need to move away from, and maybe I mean moving out. I'm not telling you what to do, but you have to set yourself in a right position so now you can move in the wonderful direction that you want to be. You live in expectation. I've met many people who tell me, you know what, Zelda, I keep my expectations low because then I'm not disappointed. Oh, forevermore. How sad. I'm going to use this as an example. You expect to get your paycheck weekly or bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you get it. You expect to have your paycheck, maybe even your unemployment. Maybe an allowance, whatever it can be, you expect that to come at a particular time as it has constantly for XYZ time that you've been getting it. Let's just say this next time that you're expecting these funds don't show up. Maybe it doesn't show up. Do you sit there and say, well, I had my expectations low and now I'm not disappointed. Now I'm not as disappointed. No, you're not going to be that way. You expect to get your check, your money, from whatever source. And what do you do now? You start fighting for it. You pick up the phone. You start writing emails. You start writing texts. Where are these funds? Where's my money? I expected it to come in and it didn't. Where is it? What happened? What are you going to do about it? You don't write to that source or say to the source, well, I kept my expectations low for you to send it in. That way I'm not disappointed. So I'm not disappointed that it didn't come. That almost sounds ridiculous in some ways. You fight for it. And you know what? When you're setting your intentions and you have your desires, you are also going to fight for those. You see, your spirit, and the spirit is the intellect of the soul, by the way, your spirit inside, eternally, will guide you through these pathways. The more you enlighten yourself and wake up and want to do good and be in service of others, and the more that you work on positive frequency and positive affirmations and positive expectancy, the more your inner spirit will help guide you through the obstacles of daily life. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be Pollyanna and say, oh no, nothing is ever going to happen, because it does. We are spiritual beings living in a physical world. And sometimes it's hard for our spirits to understand why tragedy and other things happen. And it's very unfortunate. But in everything that happens, we can start trying to look for something good to come from it, come out of it, come away from it. There's a lesson learned somewhere. And you can learn that. So remember, so far we have our thoughts and our vision boards and setting our intention, and now we're living in expectancy of things to happen. There are 70 to 90,000 thoughts per day that run into our minds. 70 to 90,000. But do you know that 95% of those thoughts are carryovers from the day before or the week before? And we've talked about this. Or they're carryovers for a month or maybe even years. You have to clear and clean those. And the forgiveness part of this, and we talked about that in the I Quit episode of Secrets, Laws of Attraction, the forgiveness part of this helps you clear that. You have to clear that. You can't move on unless you use the forgiveness that we've been given. We've been forgiven every day if we ask for it. And I'm not saying, well, this person treated you harmfully and all this other, that you need to forgive them and give them the opportunity to do it again to you. That's not what I'm saying. Forgiveness is for yourself as well. So that way you have the strength, the mercy, and the motivation to move on. So now, we have all these things, these thoughts that are coming to us. So be careful. And as of today, I want you to know that what you're thinking about today will manifest starting 3 days from now. And usually it takes an intention 30 to 45 days to start really getting in your subconscious, to start really getting into the part where you can really expect something to be showing up. Sometimes it can take longer for something to manifest, but your intention is there, and you keep working on it. You keep expecting. You keep using your visual aids. You keep using all these techniques. And now, the best part of it all. Now you know, leading up to this, what it takes. Now, I have another career. It's in the financial world. I'm not a financial broker, but I am a liaison that helps arrange humanitarian funding for companies, corporations, large groups, and foundations worldwide. On a daily basis, I'm dealing with contracts, people from all walks of life, people from all around the world. And on a daily basis, I expect things to happen. But I also speak to people, and I am a part of a board, a very huge board that oversees some humanitarian funding. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is a very good technique that I've come up with, that I've used over the years. And that is daily. Okay, so get ready. You may have to listen to this again. Get ready. So daily, the first thing in the morning when I wake up, I have my own little imaginary board members. They are with me when I wake up, first thing, because that's when you come out of the REM sleep, and that is when your mind is open for conscious setting intentions for the day, and it helps to set in your subconscious. I look around and I name them. Now, I'm not going to share my names of the people that are on my imaginary board, but you should have your own imaginary board, and you can put whatever person at any walk of life. Christ, I'm going to tell you, he is on my board, but there's other people that are on my board as well. And when I have my board meeting every morning, I sit there and I say, I want, need are not in my vocabulary, by the way. I don't say I want. I say, today, like-minded people will be brought to me. Today, very good sources will be coming to me. Today, I will have more financial opportunity. Today, in both of my walks of life, in my psychic world, in my paranormal world, and in my business world, I will have opportunity. I will bring value to my clients. I will have the best come to me today. I will see an opportunity to make more money, to have more friends, to have more like-minded friends, to have more insight, to be healthy, to be clear in thoughts. You get the picture. Now, you're not manipulating. And if there's a specific person in your life, at that point you can say, I expect to be hearing from this specific person. I expect to be hearing good news regarding my specific person. I expect during this time today that we can have these things start happening. I expect good things to be happening for my family, my friends, and my specific person. I expect to be happy today, and I expect to be able to handle anything that comes my way. I expect to have a smile on my face daily, and I expect to laugh and create laughter and make others laugh. Now, I want to tell you, through that little exercise that I do, that I've done for years, large contracts come to me. Large opportunity comes to me. People seek me out in both fields of my arena, and I bring them the best value that I possibly can and beyond. My friends, that's the best thing that you can do, is to expect. Now, when you're telling me, I know you're going to say, but Zelda, oh my gosh, you can't be doing that. You can't be telling the universe You can't be telling the universe what to do. Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Because you see, the universe does not know, and it cannot distinguish the difference between right and wrong. It just does where what you are intending. It just gives you. And as one of the people in The Secret says, when you look up and you ask for a specific thing, right or wrong, the universe looks down at you and says, "Your wish is my command." That's why sometimes you think, "Oh my gosh, God is against me." No, God is not against you. God has plans for you. He knows the plans He has for you. Read that in the book of Jeremiah. But what happens is you get down so low, you expect to be low, and you expect bad things to happen. And we have free will on this earth. God is not going to step in and say, "Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that." Now, that's what the Holy Spirit is there. And that actually helps you to make a bad or a good decision. Because if you won't listen, it's going to be bad. So you have to use your intelligence, your thought, your frequency, your expectations to speak as if you're speaking to a toddler. Because a toddler does not know the difference between right or wrong, and we're there to teach. Now, you're not teaching the universe, but what you're doing is you're teaching other people how to treat you. And you're teaching certain circumstances how to teach you, how to have you involved. Because you live in great expectations. My darlings, you can have what you want, and it's okay if your list changes. That's part of the vision board that we're going to be talking about. Because as you grow and you progress, things will change, and that's how you know you're progressing. Things are changing. In my life, I have manifested cars, specific persons, travel, opportunity, houses, many houses. And I'm in the middle now of manifesting. And I'll keep you posted on my progress. Believe me, you'll know it when it happens. I'll share it because I want to motivate you. It's not to brag, it's to motivate. You can do this. You know you can manifest. You know that you can do it. You were born rich. And as Bob Proctor wrote that is a free book. If you want to get that from Bob Proctor's site, or you can get it from Kindle, it is free. If you have a question, you can ask me, and I will lead you in the correct direction so you can get it. But read it. But you can live in expectancy. There's nothing wrong to expect good. But Zelda, I haven't done anything good in years. Fine, forgive yourself, ask for forgiveness, and move on, my darling, because you were purposefully and wonderfully made. And you are here to live in the best experience that you possibly can. But Zelda, I don't want to be rich. Well, there are definitely different definitions of being rich. You can be wealthy in many areas of your life, in health, in attitude, in family. And I also want to let you know that, when you are asking for funds, for money, for the big bucks, use it to help other people. You can manifest for other people. So in your board meeting, in the morning, when you have your board meeting and you sit and you write down all this and you go through this little, and it actually becomes fun because you're your own cheerleader, and that's what you need. You need to be walking around the house. I expect good things to happen. I bring value to my clients. And my son laughs at me because there's been the occasion that I've said, And everybody wants to be me. And it's only because I've needed that little extra bolster, that little extra cheerleading, and there wasn't anyone around at the time to give it to me, so I gave it to myself. I'm here to help you, and you're here for a reason. Take these steps, use them wisely, use them for the good. Do not manipulate people, or it will come back on you. You have to be careful. But you can use this in whatever setting that you need. Bring me news of a good health report. Bring me something good to eat today. Bring me a cup of coffee. Bring me the ability to buy someone else a cup of coffee. I think you get it by now. Bring me that opportunity. Bring me the way that I can quit my job and I can go out on my own. Bring me that information that I need to do so. Bring me those people that will help me. Bring me the clients. Bring me the knowledge. You see, my darlings, it's very true, knowledge is power. But fear is the only thing, because fear comes from not knowing. If you fear a particular situation, I'm just afraid to quit my job, or I'm afraid to move from this situation, or I'm afraid to get divorced, or I'm afraid to do this, or I'm afraid to get married, or I'm afraid, it's because you don't know. It's the unknown that you're really afraid of. Take the chance. Take a chance today. Manifest. Manifest. I'm here to tell you, I do it. My son does it. People around me do it. We live in a time where we have everything and anything possible, and I want that for you too. So you be well, my dear friends, and you manifest, and you bring all this wonderful world into you. You can do this. I know you can. You may have to listen to this again. You'll learn. You'll keep learning. But remember, write it down. Write it down. Get your vision board. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next Secrets, Laws of Attraction. So you be well and be blessed. And you be Braveheart and happy manifesting to you. And thank you, Bob. Rest in peace. Bye for now.